Hi guys, thanks for coming. I'll keep my bit pretty brief, but it's with great pleasure. We're all here to announce the future leadership of the football club, going with joint captains for the foreseeable future. Obviously the two guys here, along with Tommy Barrass, who's our vice captain. We did a voting through the players and some staff on who we thought should lead the club going forward, and the three of them were very highly rated, along with McGovern. But these two were pretty hard to beat. They sort of even for the whole way through. So we've gone with dual captains. We think it's a real positive step forward for our footy club with our future. I think we've got 22 players under 21, so it's half our list are young. These guys are young enough, also with a connection to our leaders as well, and our older players. So really excited to announce these two guys. I'll hand the microphone over to these two and start a new beginning.
Go alphabetical with Alan first, or is that how we're going to do it? How did that feel walking into that sort of applause? Obviously a pretty popular decision. How do you feel, Os?
Yeah, it's a massive honour. I mean, Duggan and I, my captains of the footy club, have been Shannon Hearn and Luke Shuey, and I've had a tremendous amount of leadership around me, and it's a bit overwhelming. It's a massive honour, and I'm excited to do it with Duggo. I think we balance off each other really well, and excited what we can do together and help propel this group forward.
Did you see this coming, Duggan?
No, we only just found out recently, so there's a fair bit of energy in the room, which is nice, and I think that's a bit of the flavour of this pre-season. So a really nice welcome there, but didn't see it coming. Like I said, it's a huge honour to be in this position with a great mate of mine. So really looking forward to it.
How's it going to work? You probably haven't even had a chance to sort of talk that through, and the coach is probably sort of coming to grips with it too. You reckon, having two captains?
No, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. It's a number of clubs do it, and we're not forcing it. It just felt right, and of course, Tommy Barrass is the vice. It just complements it really well. He's probably our spiritual leader with how he goes about it, and these guys can represent the club when they need to at the right times and bounce off each other.
Adam, as much as you can you sort of go into detail how you come to a decision like this, especially so early in the pre-season?
Oh, we've done the vote. The voting's pretty standard. Most clubs do the same thing. I think this time around we used some of the staff to help make the decision, because it's a club decision. So that's pretty standard. And then looking at the results, probably these two guys were just even and everything. So, and then we started to think about what it might look like, and we spoke to some of the leaders around the club in Trev and chairman and the board, and they endorsed it, so it ended up pretty smooth in the end.
Oscar, you had some chances last year to stand in as captain, and now you're one of the two full-time captains. What was that experience like for you this year, I suppose? Sorry, not last year.
Yeah, it was great. I think Duggo, myself, Tom, Jeremy, we all had an opportunity to do it, and it is a different feeling kind of just on game day, but throughout the week we're a pretty tight-knit group, and Duggo, I, Tom, Jeremy have supported each other throughout all of last year in this process. We've had Luke to bounce off, and him being at the football club as well. As a coach now, it's always someone who's experienced this, and we can get any ideas or feelings that we're feeling and bounce them off him as well.
Duggo, same sort of question for you. What was the experience like standing in a couple of times this year?
Yeah, it was obviously it was an honour as well to do that for a couple of games, but I think the part about co-captains now is I feel like the club, although it's had one captain in my time and Oscar's time, it hasn't been run just by one player in that leadership group. So although there's two people with the label now, we'll still be working with the team, as Luke did, as Shannon did through my time as well. So there's not a lot that changes for us and how we go about it, and there wasn't a lot that changed in those couple of games that we led this year. So it's going to be a team effort in that leadership space still. There's two blokes with the title now, which is the only change. So it's going to be pretty smooth sailing, I think, through this process, albeit we've got a lot to learn still in what comes with being a captain and all that extra bits to do.
Is it something, Oscar, that you've aspired to through your career, having been, I guess, showing those leadership traits and being spoken of as a future leader?
Oh, look, when you get to the footy club, you're just hoping you play a couple of games and earn the respect of the group. Like, it's not something that you ever set out to achieve, but the footy club have been really supportive with Duggan and I. Probably been on the same leadership journey. I think in the COVID year we started doing some leadership training in that space, so the club's invested a lot in terms of time and resources, and making sure that if this did ever come about, we were well prepared for it. So I'm incredibly grateful to Simo and the coaching staff and the whole footy club for doing that. So it seems a bit seamless at the moment because we've had so much, I suppose, build up of that over the last 3 or 4 years.
How do you think you're different as leaders and can support each other and complement each other?
I'll firstly be playing different positions on the ground, which is always a good thing. We've got a different perspective on field as to what's happening. Obviously me behind the footy and Duggo around or behind the footy. But we both are pretty similar in terms we like to lead by actions, and that's probably the main way we're going to go about this. We're both just going to be ourselves, and that's held us in pretty good stead to get us to where we are today, so there's no real need to change that going forward.
Liam, does it feel like a bit of a fresh start in some ways to the group and the younger sort of brigade taking ownership?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole aspect of the 2 captains, it's a fresh start for this group over here with like Simo said, 22 blokes under 21, and the co-captains is something new as well. So it's a great platform for us to continue to build now, and we'll really sort of hone in on the energy that these blokes are bringing, and we're already seeing it training at the moment. I mean, if you guys would have seen it already, it's been a hot start. It probably looks a little bit different to years gone by. So everyone's really excited about where we're heading, and this is just another part of that process and a fresh new look at it, and I think it's going to work really well.
Adam, does it feel like generational change for you a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the build's been not just this year, so it's probably the 3rd year in the making, really. But and I knew it was going to happen. The list profile, I think I mentioned it last year. It doesn't take long to get young. So what's been really pleasing is the leaders and the older players have come back in with a lot of energy and really set the standard. Probably 2 weeks before the young guys were due back, they were all trained together. So, and they've gone through a lot. The last 2 years have been a real challenge. So some resilience has been built, and it's not going to be smooth sailing. Obviously, there's some hard yards ahead, but we're up for it, and this is just another step towards that direction.
What about for yourself, Adam? What have you gone away since the end of the season and come back with that's changed?
No. We've been planning. We've had the draft. We've had trade week. So I'll get a break over Chrissy, but we've got a lot of work to do. So holidays can wait. I need to reflect and get better as a coach. But at this point, we've got work to do. So I'll do that next few weeks. But yeah, we're setting a lot of things up now for the future. It's an important time.
Sorry, that's what I sort of meant. Like, what's changed for you since the end of the season to now in terms of the thinking and the way you're going about things? Is there anything different?
You always change. Every year you reflect on what you've done, what you can do better, what does a group need. I suppose the biggest thing I've noticed is how young we're getting, and we are. So what's important for this bunch of players and how we build relationships and keep that sense of belonging going and the spirit amongst the group. So whilst that's not new, it's probably a major focus for all of us at the footy club.
Liam, you came in at a time where the club was starting to be really successful in that. Is there any memories that you take from previous leaders that you want to implement to some of these young guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from all of the leaders able to grab something. Obviously great mates with Luke and Shannon through their time as captains, and over the last couple of years moving more into the space, like Oscar said, in learning to lead and developing that aspect. But there's aspects from all of them that I'll take into this group. Probably the biggest one is to just to be who I am. So not a lot's going to change with the title. I'll continue to be the person that I am, and the way I lead won't change a lot. Oscar and I will just share the coin toss and chatting to the boys before the game. So it's not going to feel a whole lot different for this group, and I think that's some of the best parts that Shannon and Luke and other leaders throughout their time instilled on us, is that it didn't change the way they went about their footy, the way they went about their relationships off field and that. So I'll continue to stay on my path and really looking forward to helping this group grow.
Is there anything different about this pre-season for yourself that you've seen in the group or in yourself?
Yeah, like I said before, I think there's no shying away from it. There's been a pretty combative start to training. So that's been a great little shift for us. It feels like we're playing footy already, and we haven't even ticked over to December. So that's been really nice to come back. And like Adam said, the older players in the group have come back ready to go, and that's really allowed us to propel early in these first couple of weeks, and really excited by that prospect as well. So by end of January, who knows where we'll be in our growth heading into the season. So it's been a hot start, but it's been been pretty good.
For those of us been around for a while, I can remember Shannon Hearn, and we said to him, what sort of captain are you going to be? And he said a Premiership captain. What sort of captain are you going to be, Os?
Probably won't make an overarching statement like that, but well, look, we're obviously building as a club, and I want to be a part of that, and I want to be someone alongside Duggo that's well respected and trusted within the playing group, and I think finding the right balance between performing, and that's your main job as a footballer, make sure you go out there and perform and to lead by example, but also having the empathy that a lot of other leaders and great leaders have had to support players within the four walls. It's a tough caper, sometimes things don't go your way, and with 45 guys on the list you need to be able to balance age demographics and different form, whatever is going on at the time. So I just want to be someone that anyone can go to, and I'll be able to support them through the good and the bad.
And you're looking forward to a lot more media work, Duggo? And
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. However I've gone today, we'll see. Oscar might get more of these, but it also comes with a few more sort of extracurricular activities. So I'll be ready for those.
Do either of you guys have, or three of you have a goal for next year? Have you guys set as a team any specific goals that you want to try and reach?
We haven't spoken about anything about next year. We're just getting on with business now. So we'll get back to you.